British Bears, coming to you from another land. The British Bears show another kind of fan. Bears fans all day, Bears fans all night, 365 days, 5,000 miles away. Hey, hey, hey! The British Bears, the Irish Bears, the German Bears, the Polish Bears. Wait, what?
Welcome to the British Bears Show. And now your hosts, C-Dub and Jason UK Bears.
Hello, welcome to the British Bears.
Myself in.
Thank you for joining us to the British Bears Show, man. All that starts has made me bumble. But no, welcome to the British Bears Show. How good is it this week that we're coming on after the win, and what a win we had as well against the Cowboys. As you might know, it's free hot dog day in Chicago. If you're in Chicago, get your free hot dog. But we've got a very special guest coming on today. Jason's still on his honeymoon, but we've got a very special guest. It's Dan, Mr. Shorty, the man who started this channel, the man who started a GoFundMe for this idiot from England and got me to Chicago. And I spent 10 great days with him and his family. We went to 2 Bear games, and he's one of my dearest friends. So how would you like to come on to the show, Shorty?
I guess I can come crash your show right now.
Lovely. This is so weird, man, because we haven't done a show together for a long time, but also I'm the one in control, which is really weird.
I know. It's an honor to be on your show today. This is my first.
Well, yeah. Thank you for making the appearance, mate. And it's just awesome having you on, mate. Because, like I just said earlier on, a lot of things what happened to you the last couple of years wouldn't happen without you. And you know that. I'm always grateful for what you did, because you didn't have to do that. But we did have an absolute fantastic time anyway. But yeah, so let's move on.
Yes, we did, sir. We did.
Sorry, mate. Let's kick it. Let's start on with the show. And the Bears beat the Cowboys 31-14. Let's start off with the offense. Caleb Williams. Woohoo! What a day that boy had. What a day he had. It was 19 of 28. 298 yards with 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Dan, tell me about what you thought about Caleb Williams last Sunday.
I just felt a sigh of relief, to be honest. I mean, there's just too much crap coming out of too many fans, and I wonder how many of them are trolls, to be honest with you. But I know there are quite a few that are Bears fans that have just not had the faith in Caleb that I think that I don't find any reason for that to be warranted. I mean, he's I said this to you this past weekend, like he's the greatest quarterback prospect we've ever drafted. And I think that nearly 70-yard flea flicker pass kind of summoned everything about how I feel about that kid. The ball came out of his hand like he was flicking a booger. You know, I mean, it just
especially you're flat-footed as well.
Yeah, and the effort. That's kind of deep pass that you see them throw on a Hail Mary, and you always see the quarterback giving it all he has, and he just went.
Oh yeah,
and the passes were coming out of his hand like that. A lot in this game. I know he still has he's got to work on some things. He's missing some guys over the middle and stuff. But overall, this is a great step forward for him, and I'm happy to see it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I am, mate, as well. And a lot of my feelings are sort of very similar. I think some of the criticism he took's been absolutely over the top. I don't think a lot of it's about that actually him being a quarterback. I think it's just because he's his own person. He's a bit of a different dude, which just shows how small-minded a lot of people are in this world, which is a sad thing of this day and age. But the guy, you cannot say that the guy didn't prove himself on Sunday. I don't care what anybody says, and also as well, not just from this Sunday, but if you were sort of going on about Dan, statistically as well, he's right up there. He's right up there, man. You know what I mean? How many interceptions he's thrown this year? Once. He's thrown one interception.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
One interception, 2 touchdowns. What are his passing yards at so far? His passing yards, I mean, I'm sure he's not that high up in his passing yards, considering, we've had a lot more 300-yard games, but he's second. He's tied for second in the NFL with 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. Right now, he is currently better than Jaden Daniels after the same amount of games. He's got more yards passing. He's got 1 less touchdown, but he's got still like 6 less interceptions. So, I mean, this is now we're seeing Jaden Daniels injured, and this is why I was just so upset last year that he was Rookie of the Year and just on a better team, and I just felt that should have been Caleb. I'm glad it wasn't, because we wouldn't have ended up with Ben Johnson, so I can't complain.
No, true. But yeah, I mean, it's like what we've been saying a lot on this show. He's like, people just need to be a little bit patient. This is by nowhere near the end product of the Chicago Bears offense, and you can just see it slowly opening out. When you can just tell the players are getting more used to it. The offensive line played really well, I thought, especially on the pass protection. I mean, Braxton Jones didn't give up a sack. I think that was probably the first game Caleb played where he didn't get sacked. I still think that the O-line needs to get better in the run blocking. Like Swift only got 13. He had 13 carries for 33 yards. One guy had 6 carries for 16 yards. So we're still struggling with the running game, which I know Ben Johnson really wants to get going. What are your thoughts about the running game at the moment, Dan?
I was just going to say it didn't seem to me like it was that bad on paper, because they had a 19 play 9-minute drive with 11 straight runs, and I guess if you think about it, some of those were Caleb too on design runs, but it just, there was some breakoffs that I saw that they got some chunk yardage on some running plays. Overall, I thought that they had more rushing yards than they did, and I thought that Caleb Williams had way more passing yards than he did.
Yeah, I mean, he was a short 300 and 298. Yeah, it seemed that way to me regarding the rushing attack. It didn't seem like we weren't getting any yardage. I mean, we're talking just over 50 yards of rushing, but. Yeah, it was just a joy to see Caleb how he played on Sunday, and also as well, I thought the play calling really good as well. I think that helped out a lot. And also when we come to the receivers, Burden the third had a bit of a breakout game. He had that awesome catch from the flea flicker, and he had 3 receptions for the 101 yards and a touchdown. Roma Dunze had 3 receptions, 62 yards and a TD. And DJ Moore had 4 receptions, 21 yards and 1 touchdown. And the last one really is Cole Kmet. He had 1 reception for 10 yards for that touchdown. So the good thing is that he's spreading the ball about as well, Caleb. It ain't just because I was a little bit worried after last week that he was starting to zone in a lot of Roma Dunze a lot. Just like a bit like Field did with DJ Moore a couple of years ago. So I was thinking, don't get sucked into that game. Because part of this offense is getting the ball out to different people. And we've got so many good skilled players. But what are your thoughts about the receiving, mate?
Oh, it was great to see Luther Burden have that kind of game. I think we were all a little bit worried about him missing time in training camp, and Ben didn't. He wasn't really negative about him, but he wasn't really glowing about him. You know, he was saying you got to be here, kind of a thing. And so, I titled the show for our Thursday show one week called "Is Luther Already a Burden?" You know, so it's really
you are very witty with your titles, Dan. A lot better than my titles that I sent to you. You ignore them, just put whatever you want. But they deservedly, because they was shit, and I want a bit wanking at the time when they did them.
Every week I ask Jason what he wants Chris what he wants his title to be, and he sends me a title, and last week he gave me like 3 options. I was like, nah, none of these sound right, so I totally changed it, and he gave me nothing but shit for it.
Yeah, but you did right, mate, because none of my titles really made any sense. they were sent to you in a rather different, in a very different state of mind of normality, let's just say. But what were your thoughts about the sort of overall offensive scheme, what Ben Johnson called, especially that 19-play drive in the third quarter, which really sort of helped our defense out?
I thought that it was really nice to see some of the Ben Johnson offense that we've been expecting. I thought last week against the Lions, especially when they went up a couple scores, I thought we might see a couple of those plays in that game, and they never really transpired. I was at a watch party with Sean Sierra from Sports Zone Chicago, and I kept saying to him, "This is going to be the play. This is going to be the play. This is where we see Ben Johnson's play," and it just never happened. So it was nice to see that start to develop in the game, this third game. And I think there was a reason behind that.
Yeah, I do as well. Yeah. I do.
While we're on that subject, can I just play a clip from Ben Johnson's presser? That kind of talks about the 11-play drive and the 19-play drive, 11 running plays in a row. I found this fascinating when I was watching this last night. I was like, oh, I'm glad I'm on the show today so I can play this.
Yeah, bob it up, mate. Bob it up.
So this is, just listen to this.
I know there was 11 runs in a row. That was something that I found out after the game, and I kind of alluded to it a couple times. We did that long drive drill over the course of training camp where you guys were probably watching, like, oh my gosh, this is sloppy football to end practice. But really, there was a intent behind it that went against maybe the execution and more about the grit and the grind that goes into some of these games, getting our conditioning level up. And so the guys dug deep for that. I know that our guys were feeling it, but there's something about when you look across the ball and you see, the opposition equally fatigued, that brings out that competitive spirit, and you want to finish that drive with points. And so the runs, I think they were efficient for the most part. That helps me stay on track and call more of them. I thought that was a really good drive. I thought the way the game went in the first half was Dallas really controlled the time of possession and the number of plays. And so to see us come out after halftime and our offense respond with a drive like that did wonders for our defense.
Absolutely brilliant.
And what I loved about that was he didn't even know how many that he had called running plays, because in his mind he called at least one run for Caleb. Mm-hmm. Maybe it wasn't even a design run, but it just broke down that way. But for him, that's what you want to hear from your play caller. Like he was just in the rhythm calling the plays. And that's what I love about this coach. And the second thing I want to add to this video is that, this is why I say do not put anything into what the media is saying when they're at training camp. And people going to training camp and they're on Twitter and they're shitting all over the Bears because they had a terrible day at training camp. Well, he just said it right there. They were basically running play. They were trying for the long game right there, because when you're in a game and you need a long drive to win the game. Because if you're just scoring on 2 or 3 plays every time and you go up, now your defense is getting fatigued because they're constantly out there, just the same as if you were going 3 and outs. Mm-hmm. So for the ability for them to be practicing that, I'm sure that all coaches do, but you never heard Eberflus say anything like that. So it was just it was good to see that. That's why some of those games at those days at training camp looked the way that they did. It was for a game like this.
Yeah. But also as well is the thing what always irritates me, and this probably irritates you, is it's fucking training camp. That's the time where you make fucking mistakes. That's the time when you try things out like that. Do you know what I mean? Me and you have both played football, and that's when you iron out. That's when you iron out mistakes is in training, so you don't do it in the game. And I don't understand. I don't know if it's like a modern day thing, but everybody just wants everything instant. And things don't work that way, especially in a team sport like football, where you got so many moving parts, so many schemes. People just got to be a little bit patient. It's just so sad how people just go way over the top anytime. Hello, Aldo, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. But also as well, what we are thoughts on is fourth down call when we've got that touchdown.
Oh, that was lovely. I was a little worried, but again, those are the plays that win games. You've got to take a chance. We're seeing coaches take a lot of chances nowadays, and I loved it. And it was a perfectly designed play. It made Caleb look like a veteran quarterback on that pass. That was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, because I was sat here going, go for the field goal, go for the field goal. And I thought, oh, no, it's going to be like, because obviously the previous week he'd gone for I think he got it on fourth down twice and they didn't make it against Detroit. And I was going, no, just take the fucking points, man. And then when the play happened, I was like, yes, that's the coach, man. That is a coach and a quarterback. Bring it on, man.
Me too, because you can either you can do one of two things. You can dig yourself a hole, or you can get yourself a good lead. And going into halftime, that was amazing.
Yeah. Anything more you want to talk about the offensive side?
Just the what was it? I was going to say something else about the fourth down. It took the wind out of their sail going into halftime because the Cowboys got the ball back. So if they could have stopped us and scored, that's what they wanted to do. So they can come back out of the half and score again, and that's like 2 straight touchdown drives. So I just think that we're going to see a lot of that. Get used to it. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Is that if we hadn't gotten that, though, can you imagine what would have happened?
Oh, mate, it would have been a nightmare, wouldn't it? Imagine the press. Yeah. And every YouTube show you'd ever watch all this week, it'd all been going on about that. But it happened. We got the score, and that was the main thing. All right, well, cool. We'll move on to the defense then. Obviously, we've got to start off with Tyreek Stevenson with that forced fumble at the sideline on Dallas's second play of the game. And I think really that sort of set the tone for the game. Once that happened, I thought, wow, this could be our day, this could be our day, especially how close to the sideline he was. And I thought he was actually out of bounds when he got the ball free. And I think he sort of got his form back in that game because I know he struggled quite badly in the previous 2 games. And I think his overall coverage were a lot better. But yeah, I'll go through look through some stats like Chibed Edmonds. He had 6 tackles, 9 assists, and he got his 2 interceptions. Bayard, the safety, he got 5 tackles, 2 assists, and 1 interception. Robinson, he got 3 tackles, 1 assist, and he got 1 sack. So he's actually done something before, not just in pre-season, which is nice. Yeah. And obviously Montez Sweat finally got a sack. And he got 2 tackles, and I think Sweat really needed that sack because he had done jack shit, let's be honest, really, at the start of the season. I know last year he had a few injuries or whatever, but he hadn't really been a force of nature like he was when we first brought him over from Washington. What were your views about the defense, mate?
Same thing. It was great to see Stevenson. Stevenson is not a bad cornerback. I mean, Stevenson. He's played really well next to Jalen Johnson, and he had some lapses. I think his head gets out of the game a little bit, and he needs to just complete. If he keeps in the game like that on every play, that first fumble where he just stripped it out of his hand. That was if he stays focused like that all game. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no reason to be down on him. I was a little bit worried with. Now we're on our fourth string quarterback or cornerback. Jalen Johnson out and losing Terrell Smith for the season, and even Jalen Jones they brought back. He played really well for us last year. He's injured again. Kyler Gordon's out still. But I was really worried about the defense going into this game. But to see them hold them to 14 points, they're not a bad offense. They were missing.
Well, you're right. They're number 4 overall offense in the league. Yeah. So you think about we went from a defense game up over 50 points to shutting down the 4th best offense in the league to 14 points, and what a comeback that is for the defense. I still think we need to get a lot more pressure on the QB, but we seem to get more pressure this time. Maybe not so much sacks, but we did seem to get a bit more pressure on Prescott. But yeah, it would just be, you got to think as well that, like you just mentioned, Dan, we did it without sort of 3 of our big starters on defense. TJ Edwards, Jalen Johnson, and who's the other one? Kyler Gordon. So you think about, they managed to hold the 4th best offense with like you said, practically the four stringers in the backfield as quarterbacks.
Yeah. Even in the past years, we've seen, where Terrell Smith comes in the game or Jalen Jones comes in the game to relieve, for a little bit. They were on the field a lot more than, than they should have been. But, you need that depth. And now when we're on our 4th piece and we're still bringing in guys, who's 24? I can't.
Is that right?
No, 26 is Deshaun Wright. 24 is. Oh,
come on, chat, help us out.
Somebody in chat know 24's number. McLeod. I don't know his first name though. So, I mean, he hasn't been playing horribly either. Last week, let's face it. The Lions they haven't lost a beat. They lost to the Packers, but the last night against the Ravens, they looked like Ben Johnson was running that offense.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, so maybe they're not going to take quite a step back as we thought. But I'm not really looking at that game as it was it was a statement game for the Lions, taking Ben Johnson from them, and B, they're a better team than they played against the Packers, and they were at home. So I think that I was just happy to see the defense rebound from a 50 burger,
Yeah,
and not only keep us in that game, but I think they ended the game with 3 straight interceptions. Which was impressive.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? Did you think that Dennis Allen changed the scheme at all? I mean, I'm not a massive defense guy, but I always look at the game from the offensive point of view. But did you think he changed anything regarding his scheme?
I have to go back and rewatch it. So I was driving back from Illinois. So,
of course, yeah.
I had it on my TV, and I wasn't really able to watch it.
Well, that's good to know. Seemed like you were driving, mate.
Yeah. I didn't need to rear end anyone, but I'll go back and watch the All-22 before Thursday's show. And I apologize for anyone that was enjoying the All-22 with us. I got it. It was restricted. They took it down, so I have to figure out a different way to do that if we're going to continue to do that on the show. But at the very least, I could probably maybe have some clips to talk about on Thursday's show. But we can look at some of the defense. I would be curious to know too. Maybe people in chat have paid more attention to it than we have. Like it seemed maybe he was blitzing a little bit more. If I had to come up with something, but it just seemed like they were playing with more urgency.
Yeah,
and they were.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I mean, they definitely seem to be getting to the ball quick, and also like in numbers as well. Even though we didn't get many sacks, I think we must put pressure on Prescott because he's a decent quarterback. But yeah, it's just an amazing achievement to turn that defense around from Detroit, how there was at the Detroit game to how there was on Sunday. Yeah. Like you said before, they were playing against the 4th ranked offense in the league. So they weren't playing against Muppets. They weren't playing against New Orleans or whatever. That
was a 28-point swing.
Yeah. Anything more you want to add about the defense, Dan?
I hope that they can keep it up. Considering, after the bye week, we'll get Marty Marty Booker, Austin Booker back.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be getting Kyler Gordon back soon. Doesn't sound like JJ is coming back anytime soon because he's having surgery.
I
Terrell
don't
Smith.
think he'll be back this year, do you? I can't see him coming back this year.
Yeah, maybe Jalen Jones will be back in the mix. Hopefully here soon too. That would give me more confidence. Obviously, Kyler Gordon and TJ Edwards coming back would give me a lot more confidence too. I just hope that we can keep it up, and then really quickly back to the offense. I'm hoping that this wasn't just because we were playing such a terrible defense. Their defense is worse than ours. So
yeah. I mean, I was thinking about it as well. Another part we're thinking. I hope they just because we won that first game. I hope they keep the same sort of intensity going when they play against the Raiders, and not just think, oh well, we know it's clicked now and we're all right, and and they're thinking they're going to win the game easy because the Raiders aren't going to be a pushover at all, especially in their own place as well. So yeah, well, I ain't going to really more to say about the defense really. I mean, I thought Tremaine Edmonds played brilliant. It was good for him to get the interception because he's took quite a bit of stick over the last sort of year really. And I say, I just Dallas Anna, man, hats off to you, mate. To turn the defense around in a week, and look, I know Detroit are a really good team, and I was guilty of letting people going, oh well, they've lost all the coaches, so they're going to be shit. Well, yeah, they might have lost all the coaches, but they've still got the same playing staff who are really good. And obviously, the people who hired Ben Johnson aren't going to hire somebody who can't do anything. So it's going to be interesting. We play Detroit near the end of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Especially if we keep improving like throughout the next, because these sort of next 3 games really are sort of the games where we've definitely got a chance of winning. We know we're more than just should be competitive in them games. We should win them games. So. It's it was just a joy. I don't think I didn't stop smiling for about a good couple of hours after that game. You know how miserable I am, and that takes a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything about the special teams? I'm trying to think now if anything really.
Oh wait! Last on the defense, it was nice to see. It was nice to see Robinson get a sack. It was nice to see Sweat kind of get back into the game. The defensive line as a whole, I think, played much better. It was nice to see Shamar Stewart dressed for the game.
Oh, thank you, Aldo. Sorry, Dan.
Hope to see more of him. Thank you, Aldo Gandia. Don't forget to catch Chris Watts on the Barfly Tailgate Show every Sunday morning. What time do you guys start?
It's 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and it's 3 p.m. UK time, because we invented time, the British did, right, as we all know.
And you invented it in metric, and we had to convert it to English.
So you're still sticking really to English ways rather than we are. We went European. Right then, so usually my man Jason's here, and he usually has his weekly stat bomb, and even though he's on his honeymoon, He still sent me a stat bomb, man. So I just hope his marriage is going all right still.
Are you ready for the stat? Are you
know what I mean? Like you're there, like in paradise, and I'm going to see Jason there on his phone trying to get some stats sent over to me. You know what I mean? So God bless you for doing that, Jason.
I'm glad you did that, Jason, because I'm still working, so I took my lunch right now. So I was trying to get some stat bomb stuff with like 5 minutes to go. And I barely have anything, so I'm glad that you are still doing your Bears job, even though you're on a honeymoon in a beautiful, beautiful country. By the way, I saw the picture.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Did you want to talk about special teams at all, or no?
I'm just trying to think of anything sort of noticeable or what I can remember. I can't seem to really remember anything.
I think that's worthy of talking about, though.
Because they've been a bit poor the last couple of weeks, haven't they?
Is it because the new kicking style, that the kickoff rules, that we aren't getting any returns? Is it because we don't have someone? Devin Duvernay doesn't look too terrible returning kicks. Is he returning punts too?
I think so. Yeah.
But he doesn't look too terrible at it. But it's just like, man, the special teams has really become boring, hasn't it?
Yeah.
At least
What do you mean down to like because of the new rules are brought in?
Yeah, I mean and I understand why, but they even changed the rules because of Devin Hester, which is why he's in the Hall of Fame. And it's kind of like you want to take away the tush push, and to make it illegal, but stop it. If you can't stop it, it doesn't mean that'd be like them making deep passes over 40 yards illegal because Joe Montana threw too many of them.
Yeah, exactly. Ridiculous.
So they changed the rules because Devin Hester just destroys the league, but then the league caught up to it, and then they changed the rules after that, and then he kind of struggled from there on out, and then they changed the rules again, and now it's just like it's almost like you might as well just eliminate it all together with and just have a punt team, and a field goal team, and then after touchdowns, just line them up on the 25-yard line every time or something. Because
I think because obviously they've sort of changed the rules again, haven't they, regarding the kickoff? I mean, I think you are sort of seeing more returns from the kickoffs, because I remember last year, even with the new ruling, a lot of teams were just booting it through because they're only giving up like an extra 5 yards than what they used to do. But obviously they've put yardage on now. It goes to the 30, and if it goes out of bounds, it goes to 40. So. Yeah, I must say, I do prefer the old kickoff. Really, I mean, like you say, Devin Hester, Super Bowl, first play of the game, runs it all the way back. Are you going to get that? But I mean, I did see some run backs this last week, but I don't know. It's a violent sport, man, and you play it because you like the contact, and that's what it's all about. But I understand about player safety, but at least we're not just getting touchback after touchback. We've becoming a bit of a norm for years, wasn't it, really? So, cool.
Right. The most exciting special teams last week happened around the league, not for the Bears. Five blocked field goals within like a 7-minute span for 5 different.
Really?
Yeah. They had it happened in the Browns. The Browns blocked the Packers field goal. I think the Jets blocked the Buccaneers field goal. Do I want to say the Eagles blocked the Rams field goal or something? There was a few more, but it all happened within 7 minutes.
Crazy.
In the and during the noon games. I mean, that's unprecedented.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe you might have a conspiracy theory about that, Dan.
No, I mean, I could probably think
or a bit of pontificating on it, please.
Participate on that for a minute, yeah.
So before we could do Jason Statbomb, what did you think about the overall coaching, the overall player calling? What were your thoughts about that?
I think to the come on man title here, it was like, come on, man, it finally happened.
Yeah,
we finally saw some of the not to saying that the play calling was bad the last 2 weeks, but we finally saw that one play that got you the momentum that you held on to. I mean, the first touchdown drive was a thing of beauty. They got the momentum from the turnover, and then that next drive with the flea flicker was just that's a play I'll never stop thinking about. I watched it on Rewind last night on the Bears. The Bears did a short about it. It's beautiful because they did a couple of them, and one of them is like the field view. So you see the camera's like zoomed in right next to Caleb, and you see him get the flick back, and then you see the stands. One guy jumps up because he can see what's about to happen. So one guy jumps up out of his seat and stands up. Caleb cocks his arm back, goes to throw the ball, and it was like a wave. You see, like everyone's starting to stand up in the crowd until it works its way down because the crowd was all in the background, and you could see as it's getting closer to Luther Burden, everyone then the crowd roars. I watched that on a loop for like 20 minutes last night. I would suggest anyone that hasn't seen that, go to the Bears website and check it out.
Yeah, that's definitely football masturbation, isn't it, really?
Absolutely.
Football yeah, I mean, I haven't seen like a Bears play like that I can't remember the last time I saw the Bears play like that. Sort of dynamic. And also as well, the ball Swift threw back to him was quite really ice. He had to like more or less jump up to get the ball, then plant his feet, and then throw it flat-footed. And he couldn't have placed it any better. I've never seen anything like it, mate. You're absolutely amazing.
And just how it came out of his hand,
Yeah.
like he threw a 10-yard pass. I mean, it was a thing of beauty. And then, but that come on, man point, that was the kind of come on, man play that we needed to really set the tone and take the momentum and not give it back, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree, Dan. Yeah, it were a beautiful thing to see, man, and it sort of showed how the offense were going to be for the rest of the game. Like we were going to be really on top, and and the play call that I thought was outstanding by Coach Johnson and by the defensive coach as well. To sit, like I said, to get that defense playing like they did after the previous week with all them injuries is just phenomenal, I thought. Yes.
Yeah, Jason UK is saying, your co-host I'm filling in for says Tooney bumped Swift's arm on the flea flicker. That's why it was high. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It looked a bit high.
Yeah.
So cool. So cool. So I think we started. Go
really
on.
quick. Last night, did anyone notice there was a couple plays that the Lions ran the T formation?
Yes, I did notice actually. As soon as I saw it, I went, I bet Dan's going to bring up something about a fucking T formation up at some point this week.
I will be talking about that on Thursday for sure. Another thing that I wanted to just quickly say about Ben's offense was there was a play where, and I see why now. This is kind of what I've been talking about, not necessarily with the T formation, but with all the different formations that Ben Johnson type head coach can bring, is with DJ Moore in the backfield like he has been. There was a play yesterday or Sunday where they were in a single back set and they were strong left, and they had 2 wide receivers and 2 tight ends on the left. And the play looked like it was a designed play that made it look like it wasn't. Kind of like the fumble that they did to us last year, where Caleb got the ball and DJ Moore almost ran a wheel route to the left. It was like he was starting to run a wheel route. Caleb stepped up into the pocket like he was going to start running, but then just threw like a perfect pass to DJ Moore down the sideline that looked, normally it would have been like a dump off pass or, not a screen, but it's like your last resort. That's the guy you're going to, or he's your last read because it's the wheel route. But it looked to me like it was a designed play that to make it look like something had broken down to get him open for like an 8-yard gain. Yeah, and it was beautiful to watch.
Yeah. Have you seen the comment down by Squeegee?
Mr. Shorty, I almost forgot to ask, did you teach Luther Burton his endo? He's been watching the show.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it was. I think your dance has improved over years, Dan. Completely improved, I think. Yeah, First of all, you're a bit quick, and now you got a bit more soul in the dance.
Well, I was trying to be dorky, But the DJ's advice, now it's like,
yeah, get the funk on, man. Cool, right? So, yeah, we'll move on from Sunday's game, which was just amazing. And there were some highlights of that game which will stick with me for a long time. And let's move on to Jason's stat bomb.
Is Foster still Foster's run. So this is Jason stat bomb from the mouth of Chris Watts.
yeah, well, that sounded a bit weird, Dan.
Not Paul's mom.
Yeah, Jason, when he's here, he does his weekly stat bomb. He's on his honeymoon in the beautiful Maldives, and he still managed to send me a stat bomb this week. So hats off to you, mate. And like I said, I hope your marriage is still going all right. But yeah, so I'll crack on with Jay's stat bomb. So he goes, since Tremaine Edwards joined the Bears in 2023, he has 7 interceptions. That's the most by any linebacker in that period. That's good. Next one is...
Say that again?
It said here that Tremaine Edmonds joined the Bears in 2023.
Yeah.
He has 7 interceptions, and that's the most by any linebacker in that period.
Nice.
That's nice, man. That's a nice stat.
That is a nice stat. You see, this is why I made the other stat bomb, because I know that if Foster's hosting the show, he likes to get stat bomb heavy. So that's why I made this one. Foster was a kid you couldn't give the matches to.
Yeah. But yeah, another stat as well from Jason is that Sunday was Caleb's first career game where he took 0 sacks, which may or may not be related to the fact that on Sunday, Braxton Jones became the fourth left tackle in the NFL this season to give up 0 pressures in a game. So that's well done to Mr. Braxton. You know, he stepped up. I think he's getting better every game. I think he's getting more confident, you know, with his injury, and I think he's the best left tackle we've got in the squad anyway.
Absolutely.
Really, don't you? Yeah. And the final one is
the other thing is he had to recover from that injury, man.
Oh man, I mean, I broke my leg 5 years ago, and it's like left leg, and it took quite a while to get right. It's never felt 100% ever since.
Yeah.
But yeah, the final stat bomb is with week 3 fully in the books, Rome Odunze is tied with Amara St. Brown and Try Tucker for the most receiving touchdowns with 4. All of these 3, Rome has had the most catches for 20 or more yards with 4. And he ends it with Bears a foot down, which I like, Jason.
Wow.
I mean, pictures of sunny beaches where it's absolutely chucking it down with rain over here. I appreciate that, Jason. You know, I mean, I appreciate that, mate.
Yo, I mean, your stat bombs are always awesome. I had to rewatch the show a couple times so I could write. You had one section that I meant to talk about on our show, and I rewatched it and wrote it down and forgot to talk about it. So,
yeah, I mean, the stat bombs are that good from Jason that sometimes it makes you think about life in a different manner. Slightly.
No, I mean, you know, his stat bombs are seriously impressive. He does some work on them.
Oh, he does. He beavers away like a couple hours before the show, getting his stat bombs together. But right, let's move on to the next opponents of the Chicago Bears. Is the Las Vegas Raiders, who are currently 1-2. They lost to the Washington Commanders 41-24. Geno Smith got 19 out of 29 for 289 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Gentry, their rookie running back, got 17 carries to 63 yards. And White, the other running back, got 6 for 19 yards. What are your thoughts about the Raiders offense and how RD's going to sort of handle them?
I have a more broad opinion about the Raiders. It doesn't matter whether they suck or they're awesome. We always seem to we kicked their ass last time we played them. That was with Tyson Bagent too, I think.
Yeah.
But we were at that game.
I was at that game. Yeah, what am I about? I was fucking there. Just in body, my head was somewhere back in West Yorkshire.
Usually, I should say, when we play at the Raiders, it seems like that is the game where, I mean, every time we do something good, there's a holding penalty or there's some kind of penalty, or they commit a pass interference against us, or a personal foul, roughing the passer, and they don't call it for the Raiders, and vice versa. They call iffy ones for us against us for the Raiders, and they call them. It just seems like, going back to when I was a kid, it's almost predictable to me. Every time we play at the Raiders, I mean, look out for Darnell Wright to have 4 more holding calls on the first one will be on a 15-yard. It'll be second and third. It'll be 3rd and 14. They'll get 18 yards. That'll be a holding call. We'll have to punt. It'll be they'll have some beautiful deep bomb, like the flea flicker will be. If they did that in this game, there'd be a holding call on that. It's just that's what I'm expecting from this game.
I mean, I can remember in the past. So you've always had a bit of a. You've always thought the Raiders has always been a bit of a dodgy opponent for the Bears, a bit of a slip-up game. Even though we did beat them with Beijing when we were there, which was just amazing. I mean, I watched their game this morning against the Washington game against Washington. Sorry, and their offensive line can't run block to save their lives at all. It's like probably the worst, probably as worst I've seen in the league throughout these last 3 games. Sorry, go on, Dan.
That worries me because this could be Genty's breakout game now because of that. He'll bust off 140 on us. Because there'll be a penalty that there'll be a holding call that it was blatant and they didn't call it or something like that. I'm worried about Raiders games. I always am.
Well, mate, there's something built in your psyche about the Raiders, man. I think there's something happened to you when you were a young child watching a Raiders game, and it's spooked you ever since.
It really was. It's exactly what I was describing, and it seems like it's been like that. I've noticed the trend over the years, and it just maybe not necessarily at Chicago, but in Las Vegas, it's like they have their own refs.
Yeah. I mean, for me, they can still pass the ball. I mean, Geno Smith nearly got 30 yards, and Tucker, their wide receiver, got 445 yards, receptions, and he got 3 touchdowns as well. And he was getting really behind the Washington defense. He's got some serious speed on him, and he's a little guy like me. He's only 5'8", so go on, son. For the shorties, I'm saying that to Mr. Shorty, which doesn't make sense. even though Mr. Shorty isn't short at all, as I realised, and I met him in Chicago for the first time.
When I picked you up from the plane, we were standing there waiting for the train to stop at the airport, and you're just, it's like, I forget what you said. You're like, God damn, you're tall.
But the worst thing, what you just went, you're exactly how I thought you'd be, Chris. And I was like, it's right. Yes, I'm only 5. The trouble is, when I was 14, I was like one of the tallest, but I've just not grown heightwards since I was like 14. I was an early spurter, and I never got any higher ever since then.
5'8" isn't short, though. 5'4" is short.
That's true, yeah. 5'4" to be
5'9" is average for a man.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I can't really argue about it, can I? Because that's the height I am. It's just how it is. Get over it, Chris. You're 52 in 2 days' time. You shouldn't be over these sort of things. You know what I mean?
That's how average you are.
Yeah, I'm just Mr. Average. Basically, I'm Mr. Average, Dan. You know what I mean? Like, all my clothes are medium. I'm medium height. I probably live in like a medium-priced apartment. You know what I mean? I look at things that's like medium to low in life, so you're probably knocked on the head there, mate. You know what I mean? I don't know why I spend time going to see all these psychiatrists where you just really wrapped up my psyche in 5 seconds. But I mean, I think the Bears really have got to be really careful regarding the Raiders' passing game when it comes to our defense, and not let Tucker get behind them. And just like I know, like our run defense really hasn't been our strength, but they were terrible against Washington, their offensive line. And if we can just negate that rushing attack, make Geno have to throw it all the time, which will shrink their offensive playbook, then I think the Bears defense will do all right. I mean their defense, they only got 1 sack, and that was from Crosby, who's probably their most dangerous defensive player at the moment. So that's going to be interesting. Does he line up on both ends? Can he line up on both ends, or does he usually stick to one side, Crosby?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I think he's primarily a left.
Yeah.
Defensive end.
So that'll be So that'll be interesting to see. If he's going against Braxton Jones, or if he goes to the other side against Wright, see how Braxton deals with him, because he's really quick off the line. Crosby is, and he's one of the best defensive ends in the league.
Good coaching.
Go on, mate.
Good coaching pays attention to trends like that. Darnell Wright, he's got a trend going right now of holding and penalties. So they might try to target him with Max Crosby to find a hole in there somewhere. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How would you want the Bears offense to sort of play? Do you want it to go out like we did do this week, sort of confident and try to move the ball as much as we can and keep the pressure on like we did last week?
Yeah, I want to see ball control. I want to see the running game pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, I do.
Swift needs to have more than 30 yards. We need to if we can get 80 yards out of Swift and even like 20 yards out of Monangai this week, I'd be really happy with that. I think that's a blueprint for a win, considering all the other things that we already know that Ben can do with the passing game, right? So if they can get the ball going and they can run the ball, we all know that's how you win games. If you can't run the ball, and they know what you're doing. It's kind of like the Cowboys last week. We put them down in such a hole that Dennis Allen pinned their ears back and they were just attacking and they're getting interceptions and all that stuff. Same thing with our loss to the Lions. At one point we couldn't pass anymore or run anymore. We had to pass. We had no choice. So when you're boxed into one dimensional like that, that's what you fear the most. So if we can run the ball better than we did last week and pass the ball just as good, I think we're going to win the game.
Yeah, I do as well. Mate. Trying to think now what I need to say. Yeah, I mean, we'll come to the show, which I know is Jason's least favourite part of the show. And it's a part I always realise that I'd actually think about until it's far too late in the show, is score predictions. I think we're going to win. And I think it's going to be 28-14 to the Bears. I feel like the offense is going to be on a roll from last week. Like I say, I feel like their offensive line is very poor. And,
you're sticking true to your you had them win, loss, win. So we lost, win. Hopefully we'll get win. We'll be 2-0 or 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, if we get to 2-2, I mean, I think that's where a lot of sort of pundits thought they were going to be anyway.
I wanted to see what I was getting on there. I was at I'm behind this, I think. No.
The only one you put down in the first four losses, the Raiders, your voodoo game.
Oh yeah, I did pick the loss. Yeah.
You did.
If we can go 2-2, I'll be happy.
I will be, because as well, like teams are, the Packers dropped a game as well. They lost to the Browns. Yeah, God, and
Green Bay.
And also as well, the Vikings dropped a game last week as well. Went into the Falcons, I believe. So everybody's dropped games. I know Detroit's won the last two, and they look like they're the powerhouse of the division. But at least there's still not too many games behind now with that win. Have you got a score for us, mate? Oh,
pardon?
Score prediction.
Score prediction. Who's their defensive coordinator? Anyone know?
No idea, mate.
So, what's his name's the head coach, right?
The guy from Seattle, Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll. Their offensive coordinator is, I don't know who their offensive or defensive coordinators are. What's their record? Does anyone know their record?
Yeah, they've won one and they've lost two.
They're 1-2, so we're both 1-2.
Yeah.
Okay, so of these two desperate teams to get to 2-2, I think that we have a better chance of winning because I do think we're a better team. As much as I'm always a homer on that side of it, but I'm going to go something like, because we haven't put up anything less than 24 points in a game, right? So 24, 31. I'm going to go 35-17
to the Bears.
Yeah, I got to write. Yeah, Bears. I got to write that down so I remember that for Thursday.
Yeah. So we're both on the Bears winning this game. Let's just start the Bears and get on a roll, man. I think in sport and also in a lot of walks of life, momentum is such an important aspect of it all. If we can get on a bit of a roll and the team will build a confidence. It's Caleb can keep getting better and better and better. We can open up the playbook out more and more what Ben Johnson wants to do. And it's just getting that confidence of, learning how to win games, really, that group of players to win games. And I really did like the footage what they showed of in the Bears locker room after the game with Ben Johnson, the players. And all the players, because he's so stoic, when he's in front of the press. And you can sort of see, the other side of the guy, the side what he doesn't let, the press see. And that was so refreshing, man, just to see that bond with the players and him loosening up and, messing with his hair and his hat. And that was just really nice to see, because it showed that they're building up that camaraderie as well in the locker room.
And that breakdown little poem he had, I got to write that down because that's brilliant.
Yes.
Something good makes good to great, be great, or something. It was brilliant. And those are the kind of things, that you want to hear from your head coach. Not, we're going to create the hits principle,
we're all going to pull together, and that's going to make the difference, you fucking fuckwit. Like I used to say last year. I mean, it was nice to beat Eberflus as well, wasn't it? Let's be honest as well. I mean, I know he's probably a really nice guy, but blah, blah, blah. But fuck it. He fucked us over as an head coach. And our offense kicked his ass, his defensive ass. And he had no answers to our offense at all. It was completely crap. So that was really nice as well. I mean, I'm not really into sort of revenge games now, but to say how Eberflus let it all slip and and wasted so many players' talents when he was there, but I was so happy that we beat him.
It also saw a trend broken, right? Because we usually see the revenge games go against us.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, so technically it should have been him shutting us out,
Yeah, as usual, yeah. But yeah, it's just so good to see him play so confident. And like I said, they didn't play against they weren't like they beat the New Orleans Saints, who were terrible.
Thank you, Buka. He says, good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best.
That's good, man.
I just hope he made that up.
Yeah, I do as well. I read it from the book. I just nicked it. Yeah. But it sounds like something what Johnson would probably say, because he comes out as being a bit of an intelligent chap. So right then. Well, I think we'll wrap the show up, mate. Really, unless you got anything more to say about the Raiders game.
I just want to remind everyone that we have our wide receiver is leading the league, Rome Odunze, in touchdowns.
Yeah.
As far as yards, he is. I thought he was higher in yards, but I guess last week he's 11th in yards, and our quarterback is tied for second for most touchdown passes. The current leader in interceptions is 5. He's only got 1, and then as far as his yards, he's got where is he? He's 11th in yards. So Rome's 11th in receiving yards. He's 11th in passing yards. But they're both leading the league in touchdowns, which is fantastic to hear going into Game 4. I'm super excited.
It is absolutely fantastic, and it's refreshing as well as a Bears fan to see that as well. Especially like having a wide receiver up there in the table, because that usually doesn't happen very often. But we'll round the show, because I know you're still on your work day. I just want to say thanks to everyone in the chat, everybody who supports BCP. Please subscribe to the channel and like the show, because it's good for my ego. And I've got a very, 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 very weak ego, so it's very good for my ego if you leave a comment and put a like. But second of all, I want to say thank you, Dan, for coming on the show. It's been awesome doing the show. It's been ages since we've done a show, and I'm thinking about shows we've done together, and I remember I think I was on your third ever show or something like that.
Yeah, you're like my third guest.
Yeah, and just to see how better both of us are come at podcasting, it's just been awesome having you on, mate. I really, really appreciate it.
And I want to thank you guys, you and Jason, for doing this show, because it's you guys are killing it. You're doing a great job. You've gotten better and better. Your hosting skills are far superior to mine. And I'm just proud of you, man. You're doing a great job. You got a nice computer now. Your camera looks great. I can see the pimples on your nose from here. You know, all that.
The wrinkles under the eyes.
No, Jason with the stat bombs. Your fan base is growing now. You got 37 people here watching. When you started off with like 8 or 9 or 10. It's a pleasure to watch. Your shows actually have gotten more views than our Thursday show. So,
well, I didn't want to bring it up for old Dan. You know what I mean? I know now we're carrying you. So, but it's I mean, it's just we just got into a rhythm regarding the show, me and Jason, and that's how I like to keep the show sort of very concise and very no waffle. Because there's plenty of other shows what do that, which is good, and I enjoy them shows. But I just wanted our show to be a little bit, just slightly different. And it's really nice to see like more and more sort of British fans in the chat and sort of, getting hold of me on social media. And if any British fans or any international fans would like to come onto the show as a guest, then get in contact with us. You're more than welcome. We'd love to find out about, how you became a Bears fan and, and obviously what you think about the game, what we're reviewing. So please get in contact because we'd love to have people on as a guest as we're going through the season. So, right, I think that's it, mate, really. Another Tuesday done.
You see what King Booker said real quick? Watson, Jason are the man. If I ever come over there, we will wreck a bar together, and I don't even drink.
Booker, that will be dangerous for you, mate, because Dan knows I can shovel it quite easily.
Yeah.
Us English have been drinking in pubs since we're like 14 and 15, and we drink pints as well. Like you drink schooners and them little tiddy fucking little things of fucking beer. But if you ever do go over to the UK, Booker, then you're more welcome to crash at my place, and I'll love to show you around Leeds and Yorkshire. So if you ever do that, mate, get in contact. But thank you, Dan, for this, mate. Sorry, mate.
I'll definitely be planning a trip there one day to see you and Jason too. So, and Jason or Chris, I want to thank you for having me on today. It's been fun being in the passenger seat of this. I also want to thank Foster for hosting the show. Yeah, I would like to have him come on and say hi, but then it would have been a 2-hour show. So, because I love your structure on this channel, on your show, because somebody has to have structure on this channel. So, thank you.
Well, yeah, and it's obviously it's come back to us English. You know what I mean? The thing is, I need a bit of structure because to me that's how my brain works. I need to have a bit of a plan, and it's like you say, especially when you only have like 2 people on the show. If you got 3 or 4, then you can do what you do on the Thursday show easier. But when it's just 2 of you, if you go off on tangents, and it just doesn't really mean much to me.
I love it. You're killing it, man. Great job. Thank you.
I'd say thank everybody who's watching, who's going to watch it on demand. Please, everybody, watch Dan's show on Thursday. You'll learn a lot, and you also have a good laugh as well. And it always makes my Friday morning cup of tea and crumpets worthwhile.
Both shows are also available anywhere you can get your audio streams. So if you're unable to watch it, you can listen to it on Spotify or wherever you find your audio music. Check us out there too. Both shows.
Cool. Awesome. Right, with that then we'll end the show with a big fat bear down.
Bear down.
We are bears. We are bears. We are bears. The British Bears.